some big team fights in this.
Some big team fights, no damage, so no real big damage coming out, no real big combos, especially from Team Spirit. You have the Treant, right? You have the Oracle. Okay, he can punch, but it's not your team fight bringing damage. It's usually comboed with Phoenix, who has been banned out. And it's also one of the reasons why in the West people pick Treant, but in the CIS, this hero is a constant position for no matter what. It's good in almost any single draft. People love the capability of creep skip as well with that Meteor Hammer or not. The Necros have been seen a couple of times as well. So we'll see what they go for this time around, but it looks all right.
And HellRaisers doing their homework, because the last time that they picked Tree Oracle, they also then picked a Ricky after. So respecting the combos, and that was the one game actually Team Spirit was able to win against Na'Vi. Since then, it hasn't looked too hot.
No, they've only been able to beat Bait so far in this tournament, which, yeah, let's not talk about that. Let's focus on the good things. You know, HellRaisers, for example, I think this is the best we've seen them perform since 2014, 2015. Different roster, different day.
I mean, overall for me, this is the best Dota that I have seen coming from CIS besides Virtus Pro. That's it. Na'Vi, okay, here and there. They can really show some great performances, but HellRaisers, the way they execute, the idea behind their strategies, the way they play the team fights, the way they move across the map, for me has been outstanding. They understand that you need this tanky, sacrificial... oh, he's going to be sacrificed quite a lot. Both of these heroes suffer versus Bloodseeker.
Yeah, I think if you're in this position, though, you just start pushing down these heroes down the support chain, right? So, oh well, we got the Bloodseeker, knowing HellRaiser, but okay, let's just, poof, down you go, lads. Yeah. You're going to have to put one into the core role, but you're going to easily just put one of these heroes into your position 4.
Position 5 Beaver. I know, I'm kidding. You literally can't put them on 4 and 5, but man, this game looks very tough.
Yeah,
the laning
3
stage,
and 4. So, to make it clear, this will be your 3 and 4, and you have to accept one's going to get.
But the thing is, both of them are countered, right? Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter. Weaver is not great versus Bloodseeker. Pango is not great versus Bloodseeker. This is a perfect pick for Team Spirit.
But you understand, right? If they're both countered by the same hero, you have one Rupture, 2 Speedy Boys. You can only Rupture one Speedy Boy.
I'm not talking only about
so one of them's going to be
the Bloodseeker just works well against them. It's not only the Rupture. The laning stage is incredibly difficult to play out when you have Bloodright as well. You have the Purge from the Oracle or the Treant there.
It's also, think about the laning phase, right? If you're always going to be able to hit the Bloodright, right? Like if you're playing Oracle or Tree, both of them will provide that output or the control to then get the Bloodright off. And then the laning phase, you have so much like annoying laning phase damage right now that his Bloodseeker should be able to have a free time in the lane, unless he gets tri-lane, for example, but I don't see that happening.
Bring the big boy up top, bring the Ogre perhaps. Okay, they're trying to match the right-click damage output, the brawl output coming from the Treant Protector. I don't think the Ogre is good enough, but alright. It's an interesting pick. I actually haven't seen maybe one Ogre pick so far.
I think Solo played it yesterday.
Yeah? We saw it.
Yeah, it was a nice game. It was one of those, we need a hero that can go explore the dangerous areas of the map so that we can actually get the information. So it was a nice Ogre game, and especially in laning phase, he was against the beefy boys. You know, that's what you want Ogre for. But my fear for HellRaisers right now is their lanes aren't too strong at all. This Ogre doesn't give them like a free pass to winning a lane like you normally see it picked in, and this Batrider has pretry much a free time.
Yeah, it's forcing you into picking your PL, Slark. Yeah. Slark you can't pick, first and foremost, you're into a Bloodseeker. PL, alright, maybe.
I kind of like PL.
It could work, yeah. There aren't many options for...
But it's the
there
pressure,
is a build,
right?
Yeah, there is a build from... Okay, what?
That's okay. So
that's ballsy.
Okay, but so think about the Slark Bloodseeker matchup. You have Slark naturally can go for SMY Satanic, so he can build the status resistance to deal with the Rupture.
Okay.
The passive only really counters him early in the game during laning phase, because when you get to the mid game fights, you just play like 5% off, like less pressure. So then you dip out at, let's say, a 3rd HP rather than going down to like min-maxing it. You know, you just play a little bit more back. So it is a big counter. But right now, like, you see HellRaisers...
And there's 3 heroes to Rupture,
exactly.
right? There's also that. So
you've, like, tripled down the Bloodseeker game, right?
It's what Taiga did in that last game. He plays Earth Spirit versus an Enchantress, buys Necros. Enchantress, even though she gets one of the Necros, then she can't disenchant the Embers Flame Guard. So, all right, I see it. At the same time, it's going to be difficult to lane the Slark versus the Treant versus the Batrider. Now, not only are they punching you hard, they also have vision after you get that level 6 coming from Thirst.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Seb on that Treant did really well versus the Slark the other day. However, this time around, it's Treant and the Batrider, and Slark should have a decent of a time there.
Especially because you just have that Ogre factor, right? I think the Ogre might be able to just relieve enough pressure to get you through. I think if they outplay and they try and contest a pull when they're out of position one time, then the lane could be dismantled. But I think Slark should, as long as he's not getting punched by the tree, which shouldn't happen, it would be a normal, perfectly fine lane. I just really like the fact that HellRaisers have identified it's a good Bloodseeker game, and they've kind of gone for that avenue of, well, if we present so many offerings to Bloodseeker,
there you go.
it's hard. Yeah, and then now they round out their draft of a Shadow Fiend. It's a BKB buyer, the guy who can stand in the front, and
it looks pretty
you
solid
can now
here
take
overall.
towers. That was the big issue with their draft right now.
I love this angle, by the way, with the tree's face.
What you say?
Yeah, it looks
Stare 'em
really
out, mate.
good.
But this is this a situation where now you're a bit worried about Team Spirit's draft? Because you mentioned how Slark just changes the way he plays a little bit. We've seen that late game matchup recently between Bloodseeker and Slark, where it's actually not as heavily in Bloodseeker's favor as it used to be.
It doesn't. It never used to be super heavily favored for Bloodseeker. If Slark gets decent enough of a start, he can itemize, like T-Governor said before. You can itemize against
my
them.
name.
That's a nice pick.
But it can be very difficult if you're a little bit behind. That Bloodseeker can actually farm up and be the true win condition. There are builds that allow Bloodseeker to also get a lot of farm. If he goes for something like a Maelstrom early on, he can become a beast afterwards. But this Kunkka pick rounds up Team Spirit's draft quite well. It gives you that catch versus Slark. It has a combo with the Rupture, obviously. It's decent versus SF in the lane. Overall, it's GPK Kunkka.
I like the way that, so right now with HellRaisers, they have an offering for Team Spirit, right? Your Shadow Fiend can walk up to an objective, and it buys time. If Team Spirit waste any of their key spells on the Shadow Fiend, they don't have a large amount of burst damage, therefore the Weaver Axe will be able to secure the Shadow Fiend's life. You then, Slark then staggers his engagement, comes in 10-15 seconds later, then they're going to have nothing to deal with him. So I like the concept in which HellRaisers can cleanly approach objectives. The issue is, if they get rolled over, it is so hard for them to stop the bleeding, right? They're going to be pressured so hard. But I think if they can keep the game even, I think they have a beautiful way to deal with this Bloodseeker, and the fact that, yeah, they're going to get to a stage where they just lack damage.
Is that enough for you to go in HellRaisers?
I think so. I think I've seen the level of their execution outside of that game yesterday where they got a little bit sloppy. I feel like they might be able to have a strong enough laning phase with the Ogre pairing with the Slark, the Shadow Fiend just naturally enjoying mid lane, that they're going to be able to move towards objectives cleanly, or at least those mid fights, not objectives.
Apparently Lyrical is giving us a kind of a daily update cycle with videos. He's got another one for us.
What do you do here? Shake hands?
Oh,
Good girl. Can you shake?
bring it across.
Can you shake? Good.
We see the dog.
Can we see full screen for more dog,
Ricky
please?
said-
Yeah,
dog.
like get this dog off the screen, get those dogs on.
Oh, good girl.
It's all the dogs.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Wait, is that
very
it?
cute.
More dog. Oh, God.
Was that from Lyrical?
Yeah, that's
Are
from
those
Lyrical.
his dogs?
It's Nova and Kaya.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's very cute. I miss my dogs so much, man, like, for real. I get a lot of Dota, but I miss my dogs. What can you do?
Oh, I miss my cats.
It's not a dog though, mate. Come on. Don't try and bring cats into this.
What pets have
We're
you
a dog
got?
panel here.
What pets have you got?
Nah, it's fine. It's
Oh, so
fine.
you're a,
starting the
so you're a
pet
fake
debate.
pet.
We're not starting the pet debate right now. We got a draft on our hands.
We have.
Or a
And,
game, sorry.
well, just to round it up, I think we heard that T, how he feels. How do you feel where you quickly wrap it up? Whose bandwagon you on?
Right in the middle. I'm going to go with Team Spirit. I actually haven't seen a lot of Team Spirit's games at all, so I don't know how they'll execute, but yeah, I'll go 51% for them.
All right, well, we'll throw it across now. We
Solid, mate.
we mentioned Lyrical. We've got
So
him on the
brave.
line right now with Trent as well. We'll throw it across to them for game number 1.
Thank you so much, KP. You guys talked over it. I threw a Ricky plushie at him, and they tore up the Ricky. That was the whole point. Anyways, the moment has passed. Trent, holy hell, how you doing, man?
You're sending in dog videos? Is this what you're doing? The content? That's genius.
You got to do it, man.
Assisting WePlay, helping them
Yeah.
out.
Just you wait till I upload it to YouTube and monetize it. Then we're really going to be in the real money.
I hear that's where you make it all these days. YouTube ad revenue, I hear, is really flowing.
Hey man, no TI. We gotta do, right? But ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to hop into this game, talking a little bit about the drafts, HellRaisers. You know, I wasn't exactly sure how I felt about it, but I was pretty sure that Team Spirit's draft, I really didn't like 4 picks into it. I was like, they got to get this big hero that comes in, like saves the day because you got no damage. You don't really have that much going on. Do you think Kunkka's that hero? Do you kind of agree with my assessment of where they were at?
I see how you got there, but I also think they just kind of like tripled down on what they do have, as that's a rundown. In the bottom lane, very nice. We see this every single game. They start with 3 heroes, and it almost never works out in the bottom. You know what I mean? Like the Position 5 ends up TPing without getting anything, but sometimes you get it. So well played by Team Spirit. But yeah, I know what you mean, because like if you want a really balanced draft, then they needed that like last hard carry sort of a deal. But instead, they just kind of went like, all right, we're all in on the Bloodseeker timing, and we're just going to run this down. And as I think T Governor was pointing out, just saying like, yeah, if you don't hit that though, you're going to be in trouble.
True enough. Absolutely. I think that's sort of the big question. Can you hit that timing? And so we're gonna have to wait and see. Afterlife down here bottom, just getting pummeled by Pushka. And then on the other side, Nyx is gonna get punched by Immersion. So nobody is gonna have fun, as these big tanky offlane or rather supports, quote unquote supports, are going to just bully people back a little bit. Anything that you're really seeing in like the draft that's sort of a super heavy lane disadvantage? Or like things that you're super worried about at all?
Well, I think everyone hopefully was just like, did they just pick Slark into Bloodseeker? Because, I mean, that is a very shocking thing to do. Like, I agree, it's not like literally the game's over, but it is very annoying to play this hero. Like, if anything causes you to just not be able to play your hero at its highest peak with a global effect, that's a pretty big deal, I think, to me. Like, even in those mid-game team fights, sure, you can, as they point out, like, do less on the min-maxing and everything, but that's kind of the whole point of Slark. Like, Slark's supposed to push it to the limit before he pops that ultimate and everything, so I could see that being a pretty huge problem. I get it, though, because they needed someone who could lane versus the Bat Rider, but I would consider that pretty worrisome if I was on the HellRaiser squad right now.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I guess the other option is just kill the Bloodseeker, right? Then you don't have a problem. That's easy.
Simple. Yeah.
Exactly. But we'll see how that works out. Yeah, that's something definitely to watch for. And Bloodseeker's kind of a hero that I think in a way has been rising sort of slowly in the background, where I think like, oh, this could be an okay Bloodseeker game, and then he can kind of like pop off occasionally. Has a super flexible collection of builds that he can go for. The panel is also talking about the fact that there's so many different targets you want to rupture in this game. I'm wondering if there was ever a game for an Aghanim Sceptron, it might be this. I don't know though. It still seems a little memey.
Yeah, that item is I don't know. If you're like offlane Bloodseeker, or we've seen like support Bloodseekers popping up, that makes it a little bit more acceptable, I feel like. Hard to pull off in the position 1 role unless this Kunkka is like insanely farmed, which I'm sure GPK is going to be aiming for.
Yeah, I think aren't you a super big fan of the Kunkka right now?
I am. I love Kunkka. I feel like
What do you
Kunkka's
like
just
about
like, I don't know if I would say right now. Kunkka, he's kind of replaced Puck for me. Puck used to be my go-to in most drafts, just being like, man, Puck would just solve so many problems right here. And Kunkka kind of does that, but not as well as like the old Puck before he got nerfed a bunch. But Kunkka also has like way more damage and like actual scaling damage with items, which is kind of a nice feature of this hero compared to someone like the Puck. But what I like is it's just reliable initiation, and I feel like we are desperately missing that in a lot of the hero picks as of late.
Yeah, it is definitely that reliable initiation. Not going to be the best against Roger if he can, get in towards that level 6 or whatever. But this is sort of position 4. Anyways, doesn't matter, as he is going to get rooted and silenced and killed. All right, Misha and Duraccio able to work together to get that finish. And, well, the Bloodseeker might have overextended Funnick, punishing. Okay. Well, that was weird.
I call that one a bit of a not worth.
Mid?
That's only worth with its first blood. And, oh, man, I can't believe Immersion. Oh, he got a haste turn. Okay, I was going to say, because a tree roaming towards mid, I was just like, that's funny, because like Tree's like the last hero that, can really gank mid that well. But that'll help when the Hasten's there. Plus, I mean, when you're Dire Tree, at least you can gank Radiant mid. Like, if you're Radiant Tree, you still can't really gank the Dire mid. It doesn't work that well.
Yeah, there's not that like easy Nature's Grasp angle. You have to like do some weird drop in a tree down or something like that with a branch to activate it. As top lane, again, more action coming into Misha. Right click, Funnick could go for this one, and you know what? They're going to do it.
Oh, he's got a mango. Yeah, he's good.
The root afterwards, though, and then the silence going to land on a Funnick. Man, it is just a brawling early game here. As down bottom again. They're trying to get it on top of Nyx, and Afterlife chasing him forward. He's already used the Dark Pact, has another one again in a second. The slowdown is there, and then the kill, and now Maposhka is also going to get ran down.
They didn't
What the
even
hell did we
split,
sign up
so
for?
Maposhka was still getting hit by all of the same napalms.
Jesus.
I think he was really hoping that they would be like, okay, he Dark Pacted, but we're not killing him fast enough. Let's just switch to the Ogre, but wasn't able to draw the heat off his carry. And they're going for it mid with the level 6.
Oh my god, dude, they're not stopping. Gambit, or not Gambit, excuse me, I saw GPK. Spirit have definitely came to play here, and up 2,000 gold already at just under 6 minutes. How has this happened? They're just rolling right now.
Getting all the important kills. And I mean, the only bad one they dropped was the Bloodseeker. And other than that, things are pretty good for them, I would say. I like the fact that they got GPK this Kunkka, too. I feel like this is a good stand-in hero, you know? He just starts yelling at some guys on some side lanes like, I'm coming. You guys want, like, you know, nice and easy to synchronize. He's got like a 75% win rate in pro games on Kunkka. Okay, he doesn't have that many games, but he's got like 15 or 16 games. He's slaying it.
Hype. Dude, you say the win rate, you don't say the game number. That's how you sell it.
I don't want to. He's 4-0. He's 100% win rate, you know.
Literally never lost. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to watch up top. Is he dead as well? Okay, they take him down. Now Roger also getting ran after by Duraccio. They've got immersion in the area. This could be a good bait.
I thought Roger was going to die, but he just south. I was getting all overexcited.
Is Pushka dead or is Afterlife dead? They're just pulling around, so he's not going to do anything there. Probably not going to be an overextension in the bottom lane. Yeah, the thing that I keep on wanting to say too is that also, as well, Duraccio might be dead as well. They're trying to turn this around onto Funnick, and Roger going to get punched.
He already
They're going to be able to zone him out.
That's so much damage, though.
Oh, the root, the chase down, the control gets the finish. Level 4 Oracle, dangerous. Goddamn, what was I trying to say? Oh yeah, Nyx, the Slark against the Kunkka. That's one other nice answer that they've got, right? Like that X and then follow up on the Slark. Love the AoE damage.
Yeah, it was a very good last pick. I don't really think there's anything that Kunkka hates necessarily this game. He's got a pretty good game overall. The only downside of Kunkka these days, like, I guess all these strength heroes just, like, aren't quite as tanky, so that hurt him particularly hard, I feel like, as a mid laner that was, like, running around the whole map and was disgustingly magic resistant.
Yeah, and going still for this double bracer build, it's, like, you know, very similar. He's actually also picked up the Ocean Heart now, so he's got a ton of attributes. 1,500
very lore
HP.
friendly. I feel like that's good, you know?
That's a good
Actually,
point.
maybe it's not lore friendly because he doesn't want to be in the water. You know, he wants to be on the boat. Tough
That's
question.
a good point. He should get a bonus for it, though, I think, just because it has something like...
Oh, his shovel. Don't leave that behind.
Immersion wanted it. Oh, the torrent, the hit, it lands. That was really nice. Kasani pulled back in to get the Tidebringer punch. GPK showing up on the stand-in.
Damn, he's making this look so easy on Kunkka. I wonder if he's going to go armlet. I've seen so many armlets lately. It's a really good halberd game, though, because they have SF and Weaver, which is like the other item. He's going to queue up the Sanj, so... Okay. I mean, they have SF, Weaver, and Slark. Like, it's a damn good halberd game.
It's a really good one. Torrent gets thrown out yet again, misses off the mark, and the tree is likely going to go down. Well, actually, Afterlife is here, too. They force back Nyx and Maposhka. So bringing in multiple heroes here. As the chase down comes, they do kill off Misha. The other side, but the pullback onto Weaver, and he's going to go down.
Man, I can't believe he got the jukes off on immersion there, even though they had the observer ward up on the high ground. Like, he found the perfect angle on those trees behind there that he just, like, didn't quite have the vision and then cut back out.
Man, nicely done. Jukes are in full effect right now as Roger trying to run away from Afterlife. Got to be careful. We just saw Kasani again eat another one of those torrents. He has just been gobbling those ones up. But the wraparound coming top.
Yeah, why are they TPing everyone up here? They don't have lasso. I guess they're just really committed to defending against the Slark. Oh, Commentators too.
Ooh, danger, danger. There's the X. Pull him back in. Torrent's going to land. Dark Pack is in time. And he's already used his pounce, though. Got interrupted. Overgrowth. Not quite on the mark to take down Nyx, but it will be able to secure the kill under Roger. But with the rotation coming in from a Pushka and Funnick again,
We got 5 heroes.
Literally everybody top. It's like I don't want to be here anymore. I'm TPing bottom, and they're going to lose the Ogre for it.
All right, well, that's why they all rotated. They're not giving up that tower. At least that's the current plan. They've committed some vision up here as well from HellRaisers. They sort of are keen to keep pushing this. I don't imagine Funnick's going to leave because he's still going to be really hard to kill. They need lasso and like 2 more heroes.
Yeah, it's a tough kill there for sure. It kind of feels like the game sort of revolves around that boat cooldown almost. Because they really don't have like a ton of other damage early on right now, do they? On the side of
the skull damage is pretty high just because they have Oracle and you have a Bloodseeker who's got 4 points in Blood Ray. Like 275 pure is kind of nuts.
Okay, I guess that's fair. Strachio there. I think he got the double stack off, didn't he? No, just the single. But it's gonna give that farm over to Afterlife or share it with him. We'll see who actually gets it. Oh, Duraccio stole it. What a guy.
Immersion going for the mech first build on the tree. Again, just kind of tipping towards the way they feel they need to play this lineup. Not really an item that tree benefits a lot from. Like tree players, like your hero just gets so much better when you have the Blink Dagger, and then the Meteor Hammer, of course, can be very useful in a lot of game scenarios where you're trying to split push, or sometimes the team fights work out where you can actually drop on a couple heroes. But mech is like I don't know, it's hard to make use of this item. I feel like on tree, so it shows how important it is for what they want to do.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I think that it's sort of a weird situation that they're in with Batrider, like wanting to be all over the map. And I guess that their thought is, okay, we're going to give these big tanky items to Immersion since he's having a good game. But yeah, it's not something that I've seen really that much either. Do you think that signals that Team Spirit want to like group up and sort of try and make use of this early strength they have?
Yeah, exactly. They know that they have a 5-man lineup and they have an offlaner that doesn't build auras. So you have to like shove the auras off onto other players. I mean, you got drums first on Duraccio, and then he's going to go in for the Blade Mail. Blade Mail's going to be really good this game.
Interesting.
Slark, SF, Weaver, just like these guys, like their only option is to just right-click you back for the most part.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that's interesting about it too is that this is a lineup that, to me at least, doesn't feel like it takes towers that well. So this is something that I think we've seen a lot out of the CIS region is like early kills, things going well, and then suddenly it falls apart when they kind of stop the snowball.
Yeah, their tower taking is quite dreadful. You are very correct. The best tower hitter they have is like tree. You hope your tree head buys a Meteor Hammer. That's like the best possibility here. So a lot of this game probably on Afterlife. I don't know about the bots first. As long as it helps them keep towers, I'm okay with it. But I feel like more and more bats are skipping off this because it just feels like you can't get enough done. Immersion's gonna get it out and almost force the ultimate.
But not quite there. In the mid lane, the bloodlusted tier 1 tower, keeping the heroes off of it. That's something that we saw the other day out of Solo as well when he was playing on the Ogre. He's just bloodlusting towers and then walking away from him. And they spent so much time keeping their tier 1 mid alive that I don't remember who it was that they were playing, but Dire just couldn't do anything.
Well, so far he can do more than Immersion. Because Immersion doesn't even have living armor yet. So it's, if his trees get hit or towers get hit, he's got nothing to offer.
Jeez.
That's pretty normal, I think, at level 7 for tree. Living armor is just like not that great, but he'll pick it up now at level 8.
Okay. I think it's worth noting also the relative strength of these teams. I think the panel talked about it some, but keeping in mind that already HellRaisers have qualified, they're through and guaranteed a slot. Team Spirit, on the other hand, they're currently the lowest, with the exception of Bait, in the group stage. So this is like a must-win for them. So we'll keep our eyes on that and how it all works out as Nick's able to help Pushka get the D ward, and they're going to be taking over this outpost as well on Afterlife.
I mean, that is definitely the situation you want to be in, right? You want to find yourself in the, okay, these guys don't actually have to win. Like,
right.
Pretty good for us, guys. We really need this.
Yeah. Well, Nyx finishes off the Diffusal Blade. He's thinking about a Halberd too. It's kind of interesting.
Oh, Funnick was thinking about going over that Bounty Rune, and GBK put down the Torrent just in case. They're going to cover both of these. But looks like the double up top will go. But yeah. Oh, wait, sorry. For who? Nyx?
Oh, wait, he switched it up now. Now it's on
there you go. He was probably just clicking his way through.
Got it, yeah. It's funny how that happens. We like pontificate for a while, like, oh, what's the thought of the Halberd this game? And then it's like, oh, just misclicked.
Not bad.
Yeah. But 3,000 gold lead. Slark still off to a hot start himself. And this is a hero that we've seen take over games if left to his own devices.
I can't believe Afterlife was just able to walk up there next to two heroes and Firefly that creep wave. There was a Shadow Fiend and a Pango just right there, but they really don't have a great answer to the bat right now.
Yeah. They really don't have much lockdown at all. It's mainly like Pango ulti and Ogre, at least until Nyx joins the fight.
Yeah, and typically for Pango, you really want that like one chaos factor to help set up for the good rolling thunders. And then on top of that, you kind of need like the right terrain for where you're fighting too. But finally, Team Spirit are almost to the point where they can get ready. I like how they're able to just take this tower though. I'm surprised that HR aren't willing to fight here. This is a very good play by Gambit. They it's by I did the same thing as you look at the GPK.
Yeah.
By Team Spirit, that they're able to recognize that they don't want to fight us right now, even though we're not like the best tower pushers. We can still get it done right now, and this is before their like perfect timing. Like they have the blink on Afterlife, but really they want the minute 17 neutral items too.
Yeah, that would be the best point for them. And it feels like if they're going to avoid fights right now, they're probably going to avoid fights at that point as well. And then you can see already Funnick cutting back behind the wave. They tried to get the silence onto him, but he had already gotten the Sakuchi off. So this might actually stop the push entirely. Funnick making the moves on his Weaver, and he's got to shovel the boot.
So this is the big play lately too, is that the second anyone applies pressure on that bottom tier 2, everyone just instantly runs Roche.
Yeah.
Especially because like now as the raiding team, you can control that outpost, right? Like that's something that has changed a lot since they were shrines. Because when the shrines were there, it didn't matter. If you'd never taken the tier 3 as the dire team, you still had decent control over Roche because you could all just TP to the shrine. But now you give up this part of the map when you fully commit to the bottom like this. And it's going to secure them to Roche. They're coming. It's going to be too late. And they're not going to have a good angle for any sort of catch here. And they go for the instant TPs too. I like that. Running out could have at least given some chance for Team Spirit to fight back.
It feels like right now HellRaisers know exactly what they need to do to try and win this game. Stall out as much as possible. Take Roche. Deny that away from Team Spirit. And then you can see like Pushka has just been, right-clicked onto Nyx this entire game, bloodlusting him, so he just farms that much quicker. Like, it's so single-minded. But Pushka might get caught here, as well as Nyx. Immersion jumped on. Needs to be careful, though. Move in with that silence. Torrent's going to connect for the moment and can't cast Dark Pact. They're going to pull back in the Slark, just as I say all these great things about him. They're going to lose the Aegis, but they will find the tree and turn. So HellRaisers, I think they're okay with that.
That was a pretty interesting maneuver there from Nyx to come back in and not just run away. I guess he thought maybe the tree was alone. Of course, from our point of view, he's just scouting for a 5-man crew. They don't have the best vision across the map either, so he has no way of really knowing which way that is going. It's like, is it solo tree? Is it the entire group? And what I really like, though, is that Team Spirit just said, okay, we got the Aegis, just get the hell out. Because I think Nyx forcing a fight there would actually be really good for them. Even if he loses that Aegis, if Team Spirit had tried to stick around, I think that would have been a really good way to try and set up for all these spells that kind of need a little bit of time, right? Like the Rolling Thunder and then into the Requiem could have given HR a nice little comeback here. And again, they're not even that far behind right now, especially when you consider Tower Gold.
Yeah, definitely not. And I kind of have the feeling that, this lineup from Team Spirit, I'm wondering how well it's going to scale into the late game. Like, do you see this lineup being able to fight at 35 minutes or something like that?
The scaling isn't great because we've gone Halberd into BKB on GBK, so not really increasing his farm speed or anything, and then same thing with Duraccio going Blade Mail into BKB. But again, that's not what they're aiming for. They're aiming for that very specific win the game timing. So I think it's fine. I think you're right. It's going to fall off, but I think this is how they should be building their heroes. I think they should go all in on that timing.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, HellRaisers in the meantime, as we got a little bit of a call in from my
This is why you send, very smart. Send pictures of your dog, and then when they bark, it's like, oh, that's so funny. Oh, lyrical. He's a genius.
Can I tell you the other game? I was convinced that nobody could hear my dogs.
When we were casting and they were barking the entire time.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way they can hear this. And then, apparently, WePlay was playing Baja Men afterwards. It's like, dude, I got away with one there. Now I know.
It's good. They were very enjoyable. They just kept the game lively.
Exactly. So Immersion, he's got this mechanism done now. A DD on Slark. Aghanim Scepter done for Weaver.
Yeah, all that creep cutting.
Tick-tock. The time is coming nigh.
And now your Bat Rider is definitely answered. Do it. Lasso him. See if I care.
Oh, God. Nyx, he's still got half duration on this DD. You gotta be careful, my dudes. The jump in, they do have a boat. It's not going to land on anybody, but they do all get the debuff applied to them. And Afterlife is going to live through the burst.
Yeah, they just used a bailout on that one. Give them the Requiem and head on out. I wonder if they saw the Aghanims yet. Because that will deeply impact what Afterlife does, I would think. Could run into trouble if he just tries to jump in there and suddenly lose a lasso.
Yeah, it's like, what does Batrider even do at this point now? Like, I don't know what his role is in the game anymore. I guess find the Weaver, mate? I don't know. What do you think Batrider should be doing?
That's exactly what it is for now. You hope you can find the Weaver first. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, I guess this comes down to a little bit of a game of Marco Polo or something. Hide and seek's probably the better analogy, but I'm going to stick with what I said.
That was good.
He's got the Aghanim Scepter, and up here top, Misha, they've got Nyx. They got him caught. That's pretty big. The jump in, the roll down, and Nyx is done.
Nice,
maybe they're going to find another one too.
Well, as he said, he's been there the whole time. So Team Spirit also recognizing that, be like, where's the ogre? He's around here somewhere. But yeah, unfortunately, the time-lapse is not global. So when it's not a high ground defense, it's going to be hard for him to make any good save there. And that's where the Boots of Travel, though, come into play, of course.
Right.
It can be like a little bit risky to rush them because like you can't go like super aggro or anything with your whole team. But once you hit this mid-game timing, especially when you know that HR are trying to split push a lot because they're trying to delay this game, then of course Boots of Travel are going to be a very good way to keep your team in the lead and in control. Now he's going to go for the Yule Scepter as well. So now he can be worried about like any Lincolns that maybe come out onto the Weaver, because that's probably Weaver's next item, you would think. And he can also just like Yules up the Weaver too and just like grab somebody.
Yeah, and I guess the other route that you can go if you're Team Spirit is just like running in there with the Batrider and trying to create a little bit of chaos. And then afterwards you can go for like the big AoE combos if things get too wild. Immersion gonna be under vision here, but they're all grouped together. Gotta be careful. Overgrowth coming out. Does he want to use it? Kasani gets his ulti out with the BKB. Duraccio turned onto him. Time lapse coming in from the Weaver. Just like that, they don't have a great answer, but GPK standing strong up front and center. X Torrent pull back in onto Kasani. Phonic 7 seconds away before the time lapse was available as Duraccio getting ran down, healed up by the Oracle, but it's not enough. The tower shots kill him off in the end. 1 for 1 so far. Can they find any more? Nyx going in, trying to find one. The clumsy net, the chase down. Immersion looking like he is in some trouble. The Overgrowth finally comes now with 4 heroes hit, and GPK, does he have the damage? They decide to go into Pushka, but the X, the Torrent, gonna pull back in onto Roger and kill off that Pangolier. Well, maybe. Time-lapse runaway. Afterlife immediately gonna get that dispelled off. Lasso not in effect at all as Nyx turns onto Misha. They buy back on the Ogre to get him back in. And GPK right at the end, caught by Nyx. And that is a huge win for HellRaisers.
They just got so mad baited by Immersion. Immersion's like, no, I have ulti, guys. There's 4 of them around me. I have ulti, don't leave me. And then they just, I don't think they got a kill after that.
Jeez.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Oh, no, they killed the Ogre after that. That was it. It's just like, oh, I wish we had to just let the tree die, guys. Just accept that, like, the start of your fight went well. You got the SF and start focusing buildings or reset. But they tried to go for more, which perhaps they're feeling like they're under the pressure of the clock. But that is very painful.
Yeah, that is a tough one right there. And I mean, it's doubly annoying because this is the timing that Team Spirit want to hit. I guess the plus side is you can just say, all right, let's go again. Because, you know, there might be some, well, no, there's nothing on cooldown really. Oh, God. Hopefully they can find somebody here because otherwise it's looking rough for Team Spirit. They are going to run to Kasani as well as Roger. And Rupture's there. TP. Ooh, wait, he's wanting to stay and take this fight? Okay.
He had to think of some way to stop. Oh, the lasso wasn't ready. Okay, that makes more sense.
I guess he might not have known the timing on lasso. But yeah, that was. I thought he was just going to TP out. But whatever, they make it work. Everybody's a little afraid.
It is like a maximum Roche. That was like 3 minutes, almost on the dot. That is so bad for Team Spirit. They needed like the 10-second Roche right now. Just come back up, give us Aegis and cheese, please.
Well, the thing that's scary to me now is it feels like HellRaisers are the ones that want to play aggressive. Like, do you like this play by them?
Yeah, this is completely fine. I think game is in deep trouble right now for Team Spirit. Like, they're basically whenever the BKBs are up, they can kind of start moving out right now. On the side of HellRaisers, the BKBs, I mean the BKB on SF. Right. So Kasani's just chilling. But once he's good, then he's fine to fight. Slark is terrifying at the moment. Imagine when this Satanic's done.
Oof. Yeah.
I don't know. Do they even have a vessel? I don't think they do, right? No. Not that it really matters versus Slark, I guess, but still wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. I keep thinking back to the last ban from HellRaisers where they took out that Huskar and wondering if that's what GPK really wanted or if this Kunkka was sort of their main play throughout the whole draft. You know what I mean? Like
Huskar would have been nasty for sure. Yeah, Huskar could have done a ton this because like the whole game would be different. Instead of like running from lane to lane getting kills, they would have just been steamrolling his 5 down towers and everything.
Yeah. It has the feel like maybe that's what they were hoping for in that last pick because I don't know, even from the beginning we kind of had this I think you and I both had a mentality in our head that's like, well, Slark's eventually going to come online, and with Weaver Eggs, how do you deal with that?
It's definitely not just like over though when this happens. Like for the first half of the game, things I would say have been looking easier for Team Spirit. Like they kind of had the ball in their court, but they weren't able to push it fast enough, which can be difficult in the current patch with everything basically getting delayed by 20%.
Right.
But now it goes to the HR's favor, where they're the ones that should be in control of these team fights, but you can still have your Slark just like get blown up. It's definitely still possible, even if they don't have that much damage on their team. It's all just about these like ruptures and lassos, and if they get chained together properly and the saves aren't there, of course you can still just easily kill these heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of these Kunkka Aghanims coming out here from GPK. Saw one the other day too, and I was a bit surprised. I apparently a lot of the Kunkka spammers, according to Lizard, have been popping off on the. Actually, I think it might have been Harry Freak was saying that they've all been picking a lot more of the Aghanims. They just kind of recognize games that it's good in.
Do you kind of like the idea for it in this game?
It's interesting. It kind of reminds me of like where you just have the giant AoE of Ravage to stop saves with Lasso, where it's just like, you know, like Oracle can't save someone if he's stunned at the same time. You know what I mean? Right. That's kind of what it reminds me of. So perhaps it'll mess with like these people trying to follow up with their spells. I can't say it's my favorite ability in the game. It just seems so like gimmicky and unreliable.
I do like it more with that level 20 talent, if you can get to that. Granted, the AoE has now been nerfed again by the 20%. Is 20% the new 17% meme, by the way? I feel like it is.
For bad things. 17% is for good things.
Okay, got it. Yeah. 20% chance that you're going to feed. They like it. They got a good ward here. This is a great ward. Rupture onto the Ogre. That's an interesting choice. But they're going to get him. But Pushka now rolling in onto a couple. That's a jump in from Roger, but Immersion able to interrupt it right before he comes in onto him. Boat is going to land, applying that buff to all of Team Spirit. But now, do they have another answer? The jump in, they actually been able to find the Weaver. Is it enough damage, though? He still is silenced and is going to die.
That was
big
sick.
Win there.
Hold him right into the Blood Right, too.
Damn.
And he's actually going Lotus and not Lincoln. Oh, I guess he hasn't really decided yet. He only has the Perseverance, but he's thinking about the Lotus instead right now. Probably just to try and cover himself from the Blood Right too. He's just saying, like, I have to be worried about both Bloodseeker and Bat, so theoretically this answers both, because if I at least Lotus myself first, my teammates can kill the Bat.
Right.
In some ways, Lotus is, like, almost better, because then the Bat is, like, stuck with you, right? Oh,
Sure.
Roger! Didn't have the vision. He really went for it there.
He's getting up close and personal there. That was scary. Okay. Well, 30-minute mark is coming around also, and each team's hold one of these outposts. We'll see if Roger wants to go for another round.
Yeah, he's thinking about it. It's like, if I had ulti just a little bit earlier.
Was it a couple of patches ago they got that?
Oh,
cooldown
SF?
reduced? Oh my god.
Found out here. All right, Funix here, though, so now Afterlife has a... Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Team, oh, Roger, you're half HP with the Aegis.
Jirachi, oh my god. He's crazy. All right, he's going to TP out with the spider legs up on the high ground, and Roger did not manage to find anybody there. They're going to ping this Oracle illusion, but it is not real, and he denies the bounty run with it. Well done.
That's the worst. And the best.
That's definitely a chat line moment, I think. Got to get on him, Misha. It's gold tier. Should have
Yeah, that's
something.
true. He should definitely be dropping some voice lines. All right, the damage is in there. Plus 2 more damage per soul. Kasami, boom.
Oh, he has BKB. And
Hold that.
Well, is that time lapse used again? Jump in, Nyx, cheese eaten, turn around, in a lot of trouble. Kasani is going to just pop his BKB and turn to fight with the Satanic. Still has the Reckoning of Souls if he wants to use it. Duraccio staying on to Nyx. He's disarmed. And in a little bit of trouble, they jump in, able to get the time lapse yet again.
He doesn't even know where he is. Heck, he's getting time lapsed.
I just want to play Dota. Oh god, is he in trouble? Kasani getting down low. Disarm. Requiem comes out to fear them all away, but they managed to get the kill nonetheless. Team Spirit. All right, they're making things happen.
That was such a messy fight, man. I gotta say, boat is just the most broken thing. There have been so many fights this game where he's hitting like everyone with the boat, and then 40% damage reduction. That's like such a crazy amount.
Yeah, it's on such a low cooldown too.
And like the delay is so long that when you have Greaves and the living armor, like he's kind of hitting everyone with these big heals, and they're getting the bonus because they have like the low HP, right? With like the delayed, so they're getting the Grieve bonus as well. That's such a weird combo.
It's really
mass
nice.
Geniuses.
I think it's one of those things that like its biggest impact is like least seen, or it's sort of hardest to see.
It's like CM aura. It's like you can never really tell how good it is until you just like straight up look at the numbers of how often she's winning pubs. It's like how broken aura right now.
One of the best ways I feel like you see it is like with the Reaper Scythe or something. You know what I mean? That's when it's like, oh my god, he was on like 30% HP and he lived through a Reaper Scythe. It's like, how is this fair? But well, 9-17, 2,000 gold lead. I gotta say, I'm surprised by Team Spirit's able to stick in with this. They're still looking quite good. Are you liking their chances right here?
I think they've taken fights at very good spots on the map where like HR are probably forcing it a bit too much. They don't really need to be as aggressive as they're being with some of their smokes and stuff. Like I think they can be if they want, but I also think if they just lean back and kind of wait for Team Spirit to come to them, the game's gonna look pretty good.
Right. And it looks like the Kunkka did kind of go for that thing you're talking about, not wanting to go for the Aghanims, and instead switched over to the AC. So kind of a nice answer for Shadow Fiend in this game.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend, Weaver, Slark, like again, it's a lot of just right click. Even when it's this support Weaver, like just the fact that he's throwing out the swarm and everything, it's just very obnoxious. Support offlane, it's all the same thing. I mean, Roger's catching up to him soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's just Roger Dota though. It's the way he does things.
Merchant's under award this whole time. The backup is over, and he's like, "Wow, they could see me."
It's a little spooky. What's he got now? He's just got full Greaves and going in for the blank. I'm surprised he's been able to stay this farmed. Like he's up there with the Weaver.
He's only got one death. That's why.
Yeah.
His only death was that fight by the pillar.
I have 1 and 9 on a tree.
I mean, he's just doing stuff like this, right? Where when he's alone, he's just punching the neutral creeps.
Yeah. Currently has what 70, almost 80 last hits on the tree. It's pretty cool. Like to see it. Butterfly was also completed now for the Bloodseeker. So helps to stop with all this right-click damage that's coming in. Immersion needs to be careful here. They jump in with Nyx onto Dyrachyo, rooted for the moment. He's still living through this one. And, well, now they lasso the Weaver, trying to bring him down. BKB out. Can they kill him off in time? They will. No more save is there. Kasani has the Satanic, trying to live through this one. Roll through coming from Roger. Immersion still under fire, and the Overgrowth finally coming out. But the root is going to be there. It doesn't matter. The fear is a little bit bigger. And they will take down Immersion in just a moment while Dyrachyo tries to run away, gets the spider legs out of there. And it looks like with the Funnick buyback, that was always going to be a one fight for HellRaisers.
Curious how it looks gold-wise, considering. Like I said, it's tons of XP, at least for the Radiant, and still a gold bonus, just because it was the double kill. So,
Yeah.
most of that, geez, SF just getting it all, 585. I saw they did have the bottom lane being shoved in by Afterlife, so at least something out of that once he realized the fight wasn't going to be a win. But now HR will come back from the mid tower that was denied last time, and now they also have double catapult. This is pretty tempting to keep going here. Gem on Nyx as well. He's got a basher. Like, let's go.
Yeah, no Guardian Greaves. None of the save heroes are here. Team Spirit, they can lay down a couple of stuns. They can lay down some control. Man, GPK kind of going crazy walking in there. And now the lasso pulls him back in. I don't know if they have the range.
They thought he time-lapsed the Slark. That's why the Slark just vanished, so now there's no time-lapse and he just gets killed.
Wow.
They're being way too cavalier here.
Unreal. And Roger is going to make his escape, but that is a big kill. Yeah, getting a little bit frisky with the time lapse, and that's now Shadow Fiend dead for 70 seconds, no buyback. Oh,
The double catapults, man, they were just too tempting. I completely understand why that just happened. Like, it's so like Dota, you know? You're just in this game, you're like, well, mathematically, we need this second catapult, even though our guys hit for like 300 damage right now.
Yeah.
Doesn't actually make that much sense, but it feels good.
Well, yeah, and that feel good ends up getting him in a world of hurt. That's a lesson to be learned. All you young, I don't know where I'm going with that. 5,000 gold lead, 11 to 20, and Ogre is dead for another 60 seconds. Woo!
Just leave the education to Sesame Street. You know, they got it covered.
Appreciate that advice, my man.
No problem.
God, Slark, he picked up a Titan Sliver along the way as well. We haven't really talked about him that much, but finishing off that Satanic, 53% status resistance. But it still is kind of feeling like Team Spirit are running away with this.
Yeah, I don't know. It just keeps growing. I'm very surprised. I felt like things were going to start going a lot better for HR. Maybe it's just the fact that the Slark and the SF haven't really like had their moment yet. It feels like the SF is struggling to really get the damage in. Also, I don't know why Nyx is going for the butterfly. Is he not going to finish out this abyssal? Is the attack speed that good? 0.5 seconds right now.
I guess. I mean, it definitely has a little bit of a weird feel to it. I mean, the armor's nice too that you get. Yeah, I'm surprised. Ooh, now we're getting next tier items. Let's go.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like a game where I say like, oh my god, he needs a butterfly. Like, of course it's good.
Right. But a little bit different. A little bit of a different choice. They have a Prince's Knife on Team Spirit. Could get somebody else to pick that up. Timeless Relic on HellRaisers. That's pretty nifty.
Immersion ditched the Blink, eh? He went for the Vlads instead. That's interesting.
Yeah, I guess just more auras. More about that group up, winning in these fights if possible. I mean, I'm like second guessing myself. Like, is it possible that Team Spirit's lineup can go better into the late game? I don't know.
Yeah, and then you see them gain a 7k lead, and then it vanishes within like a minute of each team hitting creeps, though.
Yeah.
They're just like, I feel like it's a lot harder for them to keep up.
Well.
Okay, GBK with the Blood Rage is pretty hype, though. He just annihilates these creep waves.
Ooh, I'd like to see it. It's a smoke up from HellRaisers. Funnick is back behind. I feel like this is going to be...
they got Radiant Vision here, too, and they just killed it.
Ooh, careful, careful. Jump in. They find the Oracle at the start. The disarm is there, but it's not going to last long enough. Nyx under control for only less than a second. They turn now onto Dyrachyo. He's got his BKB and the Blade Mail out. Big Torrent going to land. But Kasani able to stay alive. The jump in, rolling round, and they find the kill on the Bloodseeker. Can they find any more afterwards? Immersion under fire. He's going to go down in just a second here, although they get the save. I don't know if that's going to matter. I think Immersion's still dead, and now they're going to chase down Misha. Misha in a hell of a lot of trouble here. He bought back for this. So this is a dieback on Misha. Triple kill for Kasani. Team Spirit just got smoked.
Yeah, now they gotta get out of here. Good call on the BKB. Oh, there's a basher though. All right. And he's gonna hope the Afterlife gets it as well. But he's got Blade. Oh my God, you're insane, Afterlife. I can't believe you got away with that.
He's out of his mind. Oh my God.
Get a ward over here. He saw that a bunch of them were still over by the secret shop. That makes more sense.
Okay.
I was wondering why he was so bold in that blink. And he wants the bottom bounties too.
I mean, I guess that part of the thing too is, well, no, Bloodseeker's still pretty far away. I guess, yeah, it's just more of the gold and stuff. I was wondering if somebody was closer to buyback.
All right, who's getting hanging him though?
Ooh.
No, do you want the double Slark bounce? I love watching that. Yeah, let's go.
All right. More maneuverability. Well, now it's suddenly a 4,000 gold lead for HellRaisers after that big fight win. And a Spell Prism picked up now for the Weaver also. Unreal. Cooldown's going to go even lower on time lapse. 12.8 seconds. Oh, he passes over to the Pango. Wait, what? Where'd it go?
It's getting chucked everywhere.
I don't know. Somebody else got it. He takes the Magic Lamp instead and finishes off the Lincolns.
It's kind of funny. You would think that with the Magic Lamp popping up, he might just go for the Lotus instead, but then he just grabs the Lincolns. But okay. I like the Lincolns better myself. I don't think you should be trying to worry about the blood right, just like worry about the bat instead. So you're like such a prime target. So who ended up getting it then? Where's that Spell Prism?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing it, but I am seeing in some trouble Nyx. He gets stunned. Again, not a ton of duration on that one because of the spell lamp. And it's going to be a time lapse. Nyx living through it. Roger jumps in, rolling back and forth. Immersion gets saved again. Or staff away by Afterlife. Control comes out onto Immersion. Overgrowth used. The Torrent is going to land onto both of them. There isn't really any follow-up. Dude, how is Immersion living through all of this? It buys enough time for the rest of his team to get out. But,
I mean, when you combine the living armor reduction and then you have the boat coming through as well, and then he has the Nature's Guys which gives self-heal and regen amp of 40%, it is pretty crazy.
That was crazy. It's like havoc hammering people around.
So during that fight, Roger actually couldn't combo people because the debuff duration increased the initial stun so long on Rolling Thunder that when he bounced off the buildings, they were still stunned. So he didn't get the chain stun because he just rolled back through them all stunned.
Jeez. Yeah, weird little caveat to that.
That's actually so annoying. It's like, my stun got better, but now somehow it's kind of worse.
Freaking Timeless Relic. Time lapse used. They also took off the DD from Kasani. Ooh, good jump away there. Almost able to catch him, but the Hex, the Rupture, the pull-in, the combo onto all of them. No, but Kasani able to get the Requiem off after the fact. BKB is out. They don't have the damage for Nyx. They might, though, for Kasani. If he sticks around a little bit too long, Roger trying to buy a little bit of space for his mid laner, but Kasani time-lapse yet again, still under control, still not able to find that kill, and Nyx able to force back Immersion and the rest of Team Spirit.
After all that wombo combo, they're just going to get out of here, are they? Pushka buying back. Coming back, and he still has 22 stacks, slowly fading here. Hasn't hit a hero in a while.
Now, disarmed, torrented. There's a lot of disable to throw around, but it is not really able to stop the pressure coming from HellRaisers. They're still keeping this tier 3 tower alive. You got a tree, so there's ways to make this work. But well, HellRaisers feel like they've kind of rounded a corner as far as their draft is concerned.
Yeah, the all-in commitment is very frustrating versus the tree. But they are wearing away those buybacks. I don't think they have that many left right now, right? They have Bloodseeker. Kunkka's just shy of gold, and then we have the Bat Rider.
Those are the important ones, definitely. I mean, supports, if they go down at this point, it's still super relevant, but...
So, Nyx ditched the Sliver for the Spell Prism instead.
Interesting.
Pretty cool with his Aghanims, right? For, like, the pounces. Like, they'll come back even faster. But then obviously the Dark Pack's free value this game, and then we just get the -4 aura as well. Did not take the buildings one though, which makes sense with the way they're playing this game.
Yeah, but having that minus armor is really nice. A couple of those times we've seen like Tree just live through it. Some of that can be the aura working. Bloodseeker, he decides that he wants to go and finish off the Abyssal Blade. So we haven't seen the Slark finish his yet. Trying to finish it off now. Does that mean he also, yeah, he bought out for that. So no buyback on the Bloodseeker. Very interesting. While Afterlife is here to pick up these bounty runes, it means he's not nearby to help out GPK. Overgrowth used. They still have the false promise from Misha, which they're going to try and use now, but still under control. GPK, BKB trying to walk away. And, well, he hasn't actually used his boat either. Nyx taking down Immersion. Look at the damage. The minus armor is there. The torrent comes out, as well as the boat afterwards, but Dyrachyo going to get bashed, and then the back away. The boat is continuing to rain on down, but Tree is dead for 80 seconds.
Ooh, they can't get that Observer Ward on the high ground either.
But in the meantime, Afterlife was able to cut the top wave, so they don't have a creep wave in mid yet. It's going to be picked up in just a second.
Afterlife's going to have to look for this double lasso. Still very hard versus the Weaver, though.
Gotta make sure that you find the right target. And
now, if I'm not mistaken, if you dispel the person closest to the Bat Rider, then they're actually still attached to the other guy.
okay.
So if he like lassos the SF and the Slark, and he dispels the Slark or the SF, then he'll just like drag Slark with him. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
So he needs a refresher, is what you're telling me. That's what I'm hearing.
At least they're basically soulbound for like 4 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Team Spirit able to hold out. It's still a 10,000 gold lead, but they've been able to sort of stop the bleeding a little bit. They get a ward down on the high ground. Abyssal Blade used. That was just picked up. Misha false promises himself. Tries to get the walk away. Still under fire. And, well, I don't know if he's going to be able to live through that one. The turnaround coming through, but there's nothing left in the tank. They pull back into Kasani. Immediately time-lapsed off. And he didn't get a second person with that one. Unreal.
Not looking like that would have mattered very much either.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's turned south really quick. And now they're just going to punch the building.
The eventuality of the drafts have come to fruition, my friends. Your time has passed. The age of elves is over. The dawn of the orc.
Hex, jump, Nyx finds the bat, disarmed for the moment. Disarmed another time. He doesn't get to punch people, but when he does, it hits really hard and bleeding up the stacks. GPK, they've got the Abyssal Blade onto SF. He's chasing forward, still has his Satanic, but was disarmed throughout all of that. GPK jumped on yet again. False Promise. Can't get any lifesteal from that one. In the meantime, the Hex comes out onto the Shadow Fiend before the Requiem is there. GPK is still taking a ton of damage, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. He does have buyback, gonna need to use it. Running away, Bloodseeker under fire, chased down, disarmed, rooted, feared, everybody dying. And Nyx is continuing to build up these stacks. 56 of them so far, as there is no safe place right now.
Where's the espresso to ping him when you need him? These guys up to 56.
He's a monster. 168 agi. And I don't think he's going anywhere, dude. With the Bloodlust, the disarm is annoying as hell, but I think he's still fine with this. Gets the jump out, the pull back in, Torrent, not gonna land. Well, it does land, but immediately taken off.
Yeah, Kasani's not even going low ground. He's just like, yep, mid. Woo, that's a big jump.
Abyssal Blade, chase forward, Misha, false promise. It's only more stacks for the man. You can't stop him. There's $1.5 billion as Dyrachyo Blade Mail tries to make it all stop. They have no control at all for the status resistance. Chase down, Dyrachyo dead. 70 stacks of Agi. GG is called. And let's see how high he can get. He is not stopping. Nyx is the man
want the high score here. Oh, Afterlife, that's so rude.
Well,